So it's lunchtime and I'm feeling a little better. So just chowing down on my first real meal in a couple days, which is this pancake. Yum. Hope it stays in. Okay, so the pancake stayed down, feeling better. The clouds have moved in, but I'm gonna do a little walk and just do a little bit of acclimatizing and just a bit of exploring to see how my feet are today. And so the steps begin again. Just on my way up. Fortunately, I can see the top. The other thing I'm noticing is a lot of spruce trees for the first time, or what appear to me to be spruce trees. So definitely a sign of the changing climate here. Okay, so it turned out that last cell phone tower was only the halfway mark, but I think now I finally made it to the top of Poon Hill. Okay, I'm here. You can see there's not much to see. Barely see some peaks, maybe through the clouds, not really. So why come? So here's the answer. You can see on the sign beside me that the altitude here is 3,210 meters. I'm going to read that backwards in my selfie view. That helps me acclimatize. It tells my body that I'm at altitude. And what I'm going to do is go down and sleep down in the village again, 400 meters down below. And by climbing high during the day and sleeping low, it's the best way to acclimatize for being up high later in your trip. It tells your body to start producing more red blood cells or something like that while you're sleeping. And you're less likely to get sick if you don't spend time sleeping at altitude or overnighting at altitude before you become acclimatized. So that's my strategy today. It was a huffer and a puffer. It took me an hour to get up here realistically. Obviously I'm still suffering from that bout and my energy level's pretty low, but there you go, up on Poon Hill today, and that'll be my major activity. Okay, so day 4 of my trek is beginning on a cold morning, a little overcast here. Feeling much better after taking an easy day yesterday. Just having some porridge still, eating light, some masala tea, and gonna get ready for the trek to Ghuripani, which is supposed to be, starts with a steep climb, and then rest of the day is mostly downhill. So looking forward to that. Okay, just starting out for the day. You can see the road sign behind me. It says to go that way, so that's the way I'm going. And so we go up into the rhododendron forest. Just stopping at the first rest stop, and the views here are absolutely spectacular. And they're only going to get better. So far today, the trail's been a combination of dirt path and steps. Not nearly as steep so far. I've learned to not predict what's coming. But I can imagine this would be a real slippery mess in the monsoon season. And even though it's fairly dry right now, I'm pretty glad to have my trekking poles just to be going up this muddy path. So I just made it to the top of the pass here. You can, in the distance, you can see the top of Poon Hill there. The views from here are just as fantastic, maybe even better, I would say. And of course, there's a tea house at the top. So the trail actually did keep climbing from the tea house, but seems like we're finally going down now. Okay, just coming into the next settlement. I think it's Durali. So I'm probably just gonna have a break here and look at the map. There are some choices ahead. I'll probably stick to my plan, but we'll see what happens. And of course, we got Tibetan jewelry sellers here in spades. Need a hat? Need a prayer flag? Need a little Buddha? Need some tantric instruction? It's all going on here. Okay, I gotta say, this is spectacular. Check it out. Namaste.
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 How are you?
It's hard to convey how quickly this trail drops into this valley here. So I'm just gonna shoot my feet going down. So it's just been a completely spectacular trip down this canyon. Just crossing a little bridge here now, and just blown away by this canyon. So just tried to shut up and let you guys enjoy it as well, taking as many beauty shots as I can. Just ahead, there's some sort of water diversion project here. I suspect it's to capture drinking water or something for a village below, but maybe there's a turbine in there generating power, but I don't see enough infrastructure to think it's a power thing. Under these rocks here, there's a water line buried. Okay, so just passing through this little tea stop village, and I think I finally discovered the answer. That water pipe is irrigating this guy's huge vegetable garden spread along this terrace here on the cliffside. You want to talk about industrious. This guy is going at it with a mallet, clearing ground. So there you go. A little fork in the road, but a little road sign telling me which way to go. So just taking a breather and another tea house stop. It looks like I have about an hour to go or more to Ghuripani, which is going to get me there by 1 o'clock. So I might go on, see what happens. It's also rain clouds, so maybe I'll just take shelter. So that water pipe that I saw starting earlier higher up is still flowing, heading somewhere. Not sure where yet. And then up above here is, as far as I can tell, the very first maple tree I've seen. Okay, now I'm super curious about this pipe. There's these relief valves along the way now that are spurting out water like that. Valley. Somewhere up there is Ghuripani, which is the destination for this afternoon. So that'll take it out of me, I'm sure. Just another tea house. Tractor stopping. Porters arriving. Prayer flags in the wind. And way down in the valley there is Uluru, where I stayed 3 nights ago. Okay, so I've reached the bottom of the valley, and as suspected, that water line is coming into this little power station, and you can see there's electrical wires coming out of it, heading up to the villages on both sides of the valley. So that's what the water pipe was for, a little hydroelectric project for the villages. Okay, so reached the bottom of the valley, made some fresh water, getting ready for the hike up the hill on the other side there, all the way up to there somewhere. Okay, so here in Ghuripani, nice place. It's supposed to be great for the views, but there's no views in the clouds, so I'm just gonna keep walking. It's only 2 o'clock. I'm gonna buy a pack of biscuits and keep my energy up. Keep going. It's mostly downhill for the next 2 hours, so just keep going. Forest is changing. It's come down here, definitely getting warmer. So it'll be nice to have a nice warm night. and just talked to one of the other guides on the way down. He recommended some lodges along the way, so I'll see where I get, how far it is. Just love the views from here. That's what I was looking for. So this might. Well, I'd call that majestic. And here's my room for the night before I make a mess of it. And look at that. I get an ensuite toilet. And yeah, bonus. And 2 beds. So I'm in yet another tea house for the evening. And life is lived around the wood stove, as you can see, which heats up the tea house in the evening. So the closer to the stove you are, the warmer you are. And there's always a good conversation going around, either in Nepalese or English or some other language. And other people playing games and just waiting for their dinner to come. And tonight I'm going to try the dal bhat for the first time. And after tomorrow, I'll be entering a zone where there's no meat allowed because of the Annapurna Sanctuary rules for some reason. So I'm gonna have chicken for the last time. Hope it's safe.
But I will try to save them on my laptop.
So it begins day 5 of trekking. So just about ready to get it going this morning. Just gonna walk into the tea lodge and get my bill paid. And so this is basically where I'm going for the next few days. Down into that valley, up the other side there on the left, around the ridge, and up into the valley towards that mountain known as Fishtail in the distance. So Chamrong is my initial destination for the day. I think it's about 3 hours away. But I'm hoping to go on to a secondary town above that. Just to put in a few more miles again today. Just to make back some of that time I lost on the sick day and kept myself back on schedule. Just passing through a small little tea house lodge on the way down. There you can see the route. I'm just leaving Chule, heading towards Ghuripani, then up to Chamrong, and then I will stop at Sinuwa today. And then the next day I will try and hike from Sinuwa up to Himalaya or Durali. And then a night each at MBC and ABC. Namaste. So as I'm descending, it's getting quite warm, so I'm just going to take a quick break at this rest stop here. Forgot to slap on some sunscreen, so I'm going to do that now, and probably start removing some of my warmer clothes to get ready for the hike up the other side. Just coming up on a stone stupa here, just by looking down the valley. Beautiful new stupa here. I can't tell you much about the meaning of a stupa yet, so when I learn something about them, I'll let you know. Well, what I can tell you is there's a statue of the Buddha inside at the top there, so much I have learned. Okay, just coming up to the first really cool suspension bridge. Get across this river valley. Down the valley. That's the other side going up. And then just on the side, you can see the remnants of the old suspension bridge. So here's an interesting step, which I think is a bit of a cattle guard to stop the cattle from going past here. And then down the other side. There you go, and over. Down below you can see a Jeep track that's been forced up the hill here, causing a significant amount of erosion as well. So, there you go. Keep following the signs. You can see on this water tap here, the Gurkha hatchet daggers crossed. It says Gurkha, I think that's water service. And the former Gurkhas are big contributors to the local community around. Okay, just coming up on another suspension bridge. And you can see once again, this was donated by the Gurkhas. That's the British Regiment of Nepalese soldiers. And a lot of them come back to their community and donate what they've made.
So, first Ginu, then I will find the...
Just getting some advice from Dam, my new friend, the guide of another group here, who's been giving me so much help. So, thank you.
Have a nice time.
So, just a little bit more about guides and porters and stuff. Obviously, I don't have a guide or a porter, carrying my own pack, making my own way. But as you can see along the way, the Nepalese guides and porters, they're so friendly. The guides generally speak better English than the porters, but some of them are surprisingly well educated. The guides tend not to carry a bag other than their own. If you want your bag carried, you hire a porter. There is a combination guide porter you can hire. If you just want to hire one person to carry your bag and show you where to go, they tend to have not as good English. But what I've found is that, you know, politely, if you're friendly, they are more than willing to help you out with advice on the trail. And that particular guide back there, Mr. Dow, he's actually insistent upon giving me advice. As soon as he figured out I was a solo traveler, he immediately took me under his wing. Every time we pass on the trail, we're on the same route today. He's making sure I know where I'm going. In the tea house, he's sitting me with his group through no gain of his own. And everybody in Nepal is so friendly once you get out of the tourist districts of Kathmandu, Pokhara, and into the countryside. You know, they'll ask you if you want a room or stop for a tea, but after that, there's no pressure. It's a really lovely country with really lovely people. Just putting my pack down at the Sunshine restaurant. Gonna step in the tea room here and enjoy the shade. Have the biscuits and hot masala tea. Looks like we're gonna have to skirt around this landslide up ahead. I see the trail just going around the top of it. Just climbing a steep, eroded bit here. Drops off pretty quickly. And this nice woman is letting me go first. Namaste. Just reaching the top of the landslide here. And walking around. Bit of a plunge down, only a few thousand feet, maybe 1,000 feet down. Who knows? Not me. Anyway, onward and upward, I guess. And of course, more beauty more mountains around the next corner. So just stopping here in this village to under the shade here to get out of the sun, which is really heating up. And you can see behind me, this little village has some very intensive terrace agriculture growing. I've been shooting pictures of different plants. Okay, we reached the fork in the road again. And this seems to be a meeting point of some trails. So I'm just gonna sit down at the map and figure out which way to go. Here's a guy who knows how to move. Namaste. Okay, just decided on a quick lunch stop at this tea house in Chabrong, just behind me. Haven't figured out what that mountain is hidden in the clouds, but it's a big one. And then we got some more over there. They're just clouding in, but just over my shoulder there, you can see my destination for this afternoon. Spotted some local lemurs down below. Coming up to the guest tourist check-in for the Annapurna Sanctuary area. So I'll be doing the tour permit stamping here. So it's time for another Gurkha suspension bridge. Always cool. This one's gonna have a hell of a good view, I think. Okay, made it to Sinuwa. Now I just got to find a place to stay. I hope it's just at the top of the stairs. Oh. Okay, room with a view.
Yeah. You're alone.
Okay.
Okay.
How much?
300 rupees.
300 rupees? And shower?
This,
Okay, so I moved on from that place, decided I didn't like it, came down the hill, met some friends from the other night. So I'm gonna be sharing this room with my friend Chan from South Korea. And you can see things are getting a bit more primitive. We got wooden bunks and very simple construction here. So now I'm really glad I brought a sleeping bag.